The UTAC team is once again on the scene with pinpoint airstrikes against the crossings and the positions of the occupiers. Such operations are not only physical destruction, but also a psychological blow. The occupiers' fortifications and passageways are no longer safe. These unpredictable strikes are tipping the balance on the ground in favor of Ukraine. Such accurate and effective airstrikes show how strong the intelligence on the ground is and how precise the timing is. The UTAC team is making us forget the classical understanding of war. This is now a war of technological intelligence and speed. The occupiers' fortifications, ammunition transit routes, and supply lines are being targeted, creating great confusion behind the front lines. UTAC's ability to make so many pinpoint strikes in the field points to both advanced reconnaissance technologies and the extraordinary work of eyes and ears on the ground. A Ukrainian ground drone tries to cut the fiber optic cable of a Russian FPV drone ambushed on a road. This is a striking example of the increasingly creative and sophisticated use of unmanned systems on the modern battlefield. The Ukrainian ground drone's attempt to cut the fiber optic cable of an ambushed Russian FPV drone reveals that hybrid warfare is now being waged with high-precision technologies, not only from the air, but also from the ground. Especially fiber optic controlled FPV drones provide a great advantage against signal interruption in an electronic warfare environment. Therefore, the Ukrainian side's targeting of this cable is a very strategic move. This is not just an attempt to neutralize a drone, it is also an attempt to disrupt the enemy's advanced communication infrastructure. The occupiers' fortifications, ammunition transit routes, and supply lines are being targeted, creating great confusion behind the front lines. UTAC's ability to make so many pinpoint strikes in the field points to both advanced reconnaissance technologies and the extraordinary work of eyes and ears on the ground. Sumy District. 5 Russians ran in the middle of the day to attack the position directly across the field. Our infantry opened fire in their direction, and they fell to the ground in a heap, trying to hide from the bullets. Yesterday, we published a video showing how we eliminated 5 invaders. Look what happened around there today. Yesterday's battle scene appears at 46 seconds. The pilots of the Black Swan UAV unit of the 225th Separate Assault Regiment comment on the footage. They came quietly, they hit fast. This pinpoint operation by 2 Ukrainian soldiers of the 63rd Separate Mechanized Brigade in the Lyman sector of the Donetsk region demonstrated once again how small units can have a big impact in modern warfare. The capture of 2 Russian invaders and the neutralization of one of them in a raid with only 2 soldiers is a combination of tactical intelligence and courage. Such operations are not limited to physical results. They also mean a serious moral collapse for the other side. Realizing that even the trenches on their front lines are not safe, Russian forces now have to watch their backs. Such point raids, especially at hotspots such as the port, are strategically important enough to change the dynamics in the region in favor of Ukraine. Moreover, such small but effective raids show how advanced both the reconnaissance and operational capabilities of the Ukrainian army are. Not only numerical superiority, but also tactical superiority determines the course of the war. The 63rd Brigade's operation means that the Russian lines can now be hit from the inside at any moment, and this is a harbinger of sleepless nights for the occupying forces. Revenge from the sky. This attack on an enemy position by drones of the 63rd Brigade is a clear indication of how far Ukraine has come in the drone war. In particular, the role of pilots from the 55th Ternopil Battalion in this operation clearly demonstrates how technology and human skill are combined in the field. The detection and destruction of all the holes where the invaders were hiding meant not only physical casualties, but a systemic collapse. Trenches, shelters, ammunition points, all now under the lens of a drone camera. Ukraine's infamous drones not only hit the target, they send a clear message to the enemy. Wherever you are, we will find you. Such attacks create a great sense of fear and insecurity on the front line. Positions are now being hit not only by artillery fire, but also by deadly silent attacks from above. The pilots of the 55th Battalion showed once again with this attack. Ukraine's skies are no longer a place of defense, but of attack. In short, bunkers are no longer safe. Drones are watching, shooting. A Ukrainian ground-based kamikaze drone with explosives enters the basement of the Russian occupiers and ventilates the room. Pokrovsky direction footage of the 25th Separate Airborne Brigade of Syczeslaw. New chapter in war technology. Queen Hornet on stage. The test of the Queen Hornet fiber optic controlled UAV equipped with an RPG-75 grenade launcher, seen in video 420, clearly demonstrates how Ukraine is taking innovative steps in war technology. This is not just a drone, it is a remote-controlled, target-selective mini-attack platform. Thanks to its fiber optic connection, this system is resistant to electronic jamming and provides uninterrupted control even in heavily jamming environments, creating a great advantage in the field. Equipping the Queen Hornet with an effective weapon such as the RPG-75 makes it not only a reconnaissance but also a direct strike force. It is also important that the Hort Battalion has tested and publicized this project. It shows that Ukraine is no longer trying to gain the upper hand in the field only through defense, but through creative and offensive systems. The RPG-75's explosive power combined with its precise control capability makes it the perfect solution for sudden attacks on targets in tight spaces. The result is clear. The Queen Hornet is no longer just observing in the sky. It shoots, it pierces, it burns. And this video is a harbinger of how the battlefields of the future will be shaped by even more intelligent systems. Steel will, steel barrel. This moment on the Pokrovsky front is a textbook example of modern armored unit tactics. A Ukrainian Leopard tank destroys a building with direct fire, presumably a structure with Russian attack elements in or around it, and then quickly returns to its position. This is not just a tank firing, but the reflection of a planned, disciplined, and trained offensive on the ground. The 1st Tank Battalion of the Heavy Mechanized Brigade successfully demonstrated not only its firepower, but also its mobility and coordination. Such hit-and-run tactics are vital for protecting tanks, especially in areas of high enemy air threats. It is also noteworthy that the structure was targeted simultaneously with the Russian attack aircraft, a quick and decisive response to what was likely a mixed threat environment. The Leopard tank's superior optics, precision fire control systems, and armor durability give Ukrainian forces a significant advantage in such missions. This operation demonstrates how heavy armor can be used effectively not only to hold the front line, but also to surprise and wear down the enemy. In a nutshell, he came, he saw, he shot, and he went back. In Pokrovsky, the will of steel spoke. Ukrainian Air Force Aviation strikes the Russian personnel deployment site in Oleshki, Kherson region using high-precision JDAM bombs. A Russian soldier flew a few meters forward after a Ukrainian FPV drone hit a building storing ammunition in the Donetsk region. Dorns of the Ukrainian Air Force succeeded in reconnaissance flights. The disabling of a Russian bridge-laying vehicle heading towards an anti-tank ditch in Ukraine, apparently in order to pass through it. Its de-ethicalization was reflected on the screens. The beehive is stirred. 82nd ODSHBR in the field. The 82nd Air Assault Brigade, Ahardum HBR pilots operating in the Donetsk region, hunting Russian soldiers and equipment, is another successful example of Ukraine's dynamic and aggressive drone strategy. They hover like hunter bees in the sky, scanning the terrain inch by inch, targeting both manpower and armored vehicles. Such operations are no longer just for reconnaissance purposes. They are based on the logic of find the enemy, mark him, and shoot him instantly if necessary. Especially in a region like Donetsk, where frontline tensions are high, the active drone pilots of the 82nd Brigade pose a serious threat to Russian troops. Now every bush, every building, every ditch is under surveillance. Working like codenamed bees, These teams are both eyes and claws on enemy positions. The 82nd ODSHBR's intensive fieldwork demonstrates how effective Ukraine's air assault units are not only in rolling operations, but also in continuous surveillance and target suppression missions. In short, there are bees buzzing in the skies over Donetsk, and they bite, sting, destroy. MiG-29 with AASM hammer strike on the Russians in Kozinka, Belgorod region. They came quietly, they hit precisely. The operation carried out by the BBS pilots of the 63rd Mechanized Brigade demonstrates once again the accuracy and planning of Ukraine's striking power on the battlefield. This kind of pinpoint neutralization of Russian soldiers is a product not only of technological superiority, but also of tactical intelligence. This kind of operation goes far beyond the conventional understanding of combat. Target identification, sudden intervention by air assets, followed by rapid withdrawal. The 63rd Brigade's drone pilots are the eyes and ears on the ground, capable of not only locating the enemy, but also of destroying them instantly. This is not only a military success, but also a psychological advantage. For the occupying forces, under every stone and inside every trench is now a potential trap. The 63rd Brigade is tipping the balance on the front line with sudden deaths from the sky. In a nutshell, you never know when and where they will hit, but when they do, the target disappears. BBS pilots take no chances, only results. A high-precision bomb dropped from the air hit a hospital for Russian personnel in Chotkino in the Kursk region. This attack by drone operators of the Security Service of Ukraine, SBU, on the Eastern Front is a clear example of how intelligence and perceptual superiority are targeted in war. The pinpoint destruction of a mobile Russian radar system, a structure protected by a truck, a van, motorcycles, and a trailer, means not only disabling a fleet of vehicles, but also the enemy's surveillance capabilities. Such radar systems serve as eyes and ears for Russian forces on the front line. Their detection and destruction provides Ukrainian troops with both tactical invisibility and freedom of action. At the same time, it severely weakens electronic warfare and air defense capabilities. The fact that a Russian soldier was neutralized in the attack suggests that the target was not only equipment, but also a pinpoint intervention against decision makers or system operators. Conclusion: this SBU operation is part of a chain of strikes carried out with technical skill, field intelligence, and precision drone use. Russian radars now only produce smoke, not signals. Thank you for watching so far. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel